Good evening, everybody. This is new because I've never hosted anything on Pogdo before, but I am going to be running a Cthulhu campaign for the lovely people here in our regular group. This is going to be hopefully a well-coherent session 0, but our connection is a bit shoddy today, so bear with. We're going to be creating characters, talking about backgrounds, and possibly running a little scenario as well. So, yeah, first of all, a couple of things, just a couple of things to run you through for 7th edition, the most important things about it, because I know not all of you are familiar with it. With roles, they're always percentile. There's no sort of attributes that are sort of, I think they used to be like 10 or 12 or something out of, they're all percentile now. And there are various roles that are good to bear in mind in the game, as well as your skill rolls that you might want to think about. So there are things, for example, you can do like education roles or no roles, which is kind of like an educated guess, if you will, or sort of you might have general experience in a field, but you don't know stuff to an expertise sort of level or specifics, if that makes sense. You also have, although I don't want to use this too often, but there's a thing called an idea roll, which is more a meta thing. So if you're blatantly stuck as players, then I can give you an idea roll, which basically means that I reveal something in the mystery, although the worse you roll, the harder it becomes for you in terms of like a consequence or something. But again, I'll use that sparingly. You also have advantage and disadvantage rolls, very, very similar to D&D, which I know all of you played, obviously, because we did a campaign together. So if I say roll with advantage, then instead of a D20, because it's obviously called Cthulhu, you use 2 D100s and a D10, and then the highest or lowest, whichever one gets you the result. And then there's also luck rolls. So we'll roll up luck and things like that, of course, but basically if you say you fall a bit short of a roll that you want, you can spend luck to bring it down to however much you want. Luck can replenish, but not incredibly often, so be careful with it. Also, you might have to roll a luck roll. So bear in mind, the more you spent on your luck, then the harder it is going to be to do a luck roll, if that makes sense. So yeah, just those things really to bear in mind for the moment, just mechanical wise. But yeah, give me your thoughts so far, because I know we talked about it a little bit, on what kind of characters you want to make, first of all. So why don't we start with Becky?
So I'm going to be a shopkeeper. Okay. So basically, I ran the general store of whatever small town we're in. I'm afraid I don't recall the name.
Yes.
But yes, I run the general store. Used to be a sort of a husband and wife thing. Husband died years ago, and so widowed. And I guess being a small town and the general store owner / operator, I probably know a lot of people in the town, but probably more in a professional sense than personally. Maybe there's a few people saying, "Oh, hello, how's your bunions?" Kind of thing.
Of course. Okay, and I almost called you Jake for a minute. Phil, you were thinking of sort of working for Becky's character, is that right?
Yeah, working for her and being a bit of a criminal. He's down on his luck. He's looking for somewhere to stay, trying to keep his nose clean and out of trouble for once, trying to be a reformed character. With varying degrees of luck.
Okay. And Ronald?
Yeah, I'm still going to go with the small town sheriff. I kind of like the idea of former sort of I haven't quite decided whether FBI or big city detective, but he's had it. He's seen too much, shit with everything he's had to deal with in that regard, and he just wants the quiet life till he gets his pension. So he's taking this nice sheriff's post, nice small town. He figures, the worst thing he's ever going to have to deal with is drunks on a Saturday night and the occasional speeding ticket. That kind of thing.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So I've written a couple of notes. Obviously, we can evolve the characters, but I'm going to read you several truths of the campaign, just so you have a general idea of the feel of it. Okay. And then, if you maybe want to tweak things or develop things, then go ahead. But the campaign will be set in Virginia in the 1980s. And Virginia and the East Coast are currently becoming more prone to hurricanes. Nellisford, whilst the economy is stagnant, and Nellisford is where you'll begin the campaign, is a tightly knit community. Wintergreen Resort, so a place just outside Nellisford, is currently closed due to several incidents involving unsafe equipment and terrain. A new religious group is gaining traction in Virginia as a whole, and we can sort of develop this in the little encounter. Katie Stockman, a barmaid who all three of you know, at the Stony Creek Bar and Grill, has gone missing.
Sorry, can you just repeat what was gaining traction? Because you cut for me at that point.
A new religious group.
Okay. Do we now have a name for them or something?
No, you don't know the name, but you've just heard that
when
there
you say they're gaining traction, is that sort of like, are they in the news? Are they quite, or is it just in the local area?
Basically, I don't want to give too much away, and also I haven't sort of developed on that completely, but you've heard a couple of rumors of kind of a new sort of denomination, if you will, of religion. You think it might be sort of a evangelical surge or something like that. But it's not something that's present in the town. It's not in the news. It's, again, I'm sort of doing this as a meta thing, so it's just something to be aware of.
Okay.
Okay, so characters.
Right.
Okay, so I think we decided sort of on the actual official occupation for each of you beforehand, which in my experience is good to sort of know in advance before you roll up and whatever.
Yeah.
So I believe I know that Phil is a criminal. That's definitely a thing. What am I looking in the skills? Here we go. Let me just quickly check to see. Yeah, I think there were several sort of subsidiaries of criminal.
Yeah, there is.
Agreed on one.
Well, I was thinking probably something either like freelance solo or just maybe street punk. The others are quite specific, really, in fence and smuggler and counterfeiter.
Yeah, it depends really where you want to go on this. Like bootlegger, I don't know, might be worth it. It depends what kind of crimes your character's committed.
I thought he's perhaps he's moved out from the city. Washington's close by, so say Washington, and he was stealing cars, maybe a couple burglaries, muggings, that sort of thing. Just a low-level criminal, effectively.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. Probably the freelance criminal is sort of your thing. You do petty theft and stuff. Okay. Yep. So, criminal. Okay. And then for Becky, I believe there was a shopkeeper occupation, wasn't there? Yeah, shopkeeper. Okay, perfect. And then For Ronnie, I can't remember what we did for you.
I think it's very much going to be police officer. I might, depending on how things go, nab the odd skill that's sitting in the police detective skill list. But essentially, see, I'm kind of torn because if I have a background of being a police detective who's now become a sheriff, I don't know whether to just take police detective as my base and then sort of mess about with skills since he's become small town sheriff. I think that'd probably be the smarter move.
Well, put it this way, you've got sort of skills tied to your occupation, but then you do have a pool to spend for hobbies. So you can then, you can pull from kind of any skill you want, really.
I think,
so don't worry too much about, I must lie within the occupation skills of law. But there's police detective / officer, so that does look at kind of detective work and things, which is not sort of 100%. You've then got private investigator. And then you've got sort of uniform police officers.
See, that's pretty much police officer for uniform. It's. See, I'm reluctant to go down the PI route because it's such a cliche. It really is.
I mean, it's something that a lot of people like to choose, I guess.
Plus,
it's only really cliche if you shave the beard off but keep the moustache.
Yeah, but I'd find myself doing the whole tacky pros sort of commentary on myself as the game went on, and that would get boring real fast. As I start talking like a hard-boiled PI. It was an early day in the office. Then she walked through the door, which was a neat trick as it was shut at the time. What a dame.
You do it in a police squad.
Yeah. What a dame. She was wearing clothes she'd just thrown on and nearly missed. You know, I could start throwing all that shit out. But no, I think the police detective / police officer is the better fit.
Okay. There is agency detective, but it's more for sort of company operatives and things. So it's quite specific, actually. Okay. I wish this pen would actually work. It's brand new. Okay. Criminal, freelance, Becky's a shopkeeper. Okay, right. So characteristics are a bit weird for 7th edition. Basically, we do four of them first, and then we do the others.
Okay.
1, 2. In fact, no, I beg your pardon. It's 5 first, then 4. I can't count. So bear this in mind because you can assign numbers yourself, but you can't sort of, say you got a role that you don't want in the first batch, you can't then put them into the second attributes. Okay, so we're going to roll up the following 5 first. Strength, constitution, dexterity, appearance, and power. Bear in mind in 7th edition, power also equates to your sanity. Yeah. So what you do, you roll 3d6, times them by 5. And do that 5 times, of course. Don't worry too much if you get a really shitty roll. There is a possibility you can upgrade it.
Yeah, that is a crappy one. Okay.
And then again, you can assign the 5 numbers to any of those 5 attributes. And when you put the number in, you'll see that it automatically calculates the half and the fifth, which, if for those of you who don't know, they are the levels of success you can do in each of your rolls.
Okay, can you just, when you said we did 5 stats, but you gave us 6, you told us about 6, so what's going on there? Or was that just an error?
No, I think you missed a bit. So I said strength, constitution, dexterity, appearance, and power. Then I said power happens to equate your sanity, so bear that in mind.
Ah, no, it's because I must have had lag, because they're in totally different. Yeah. Right. So I assign these however I want, basically.
To those 5, yeah, not to the other 4.
So not to intelligence.
Not to intelligence, not to power, sorry, not to education, not to size. They don't really do it in a very good order on the sheet, which annoys me.
Gone.
So
Okay,
strength,
so
con,
those
dex, appearance, and power.
I have some really bad stats, by the way. Like quite a few. So I'll put the rubbish ones in the physical stuff.
1, 2, 3,
Remember, they have to go into strength, con, dex, appearance, and power, not the other 3, because they roll them slightly differently.
Okay, I have put them in.
Okay, everyone else done that bit?
Just doing a couple more.
5, yeah.
Yep. Again, don't worry too much if it's a bit shitty, but then it is Cthulhu, so if you have a shit stat, then, you know.
It's the way life was meant to be.
I quite often make characters with quite low sanity that have been through a lot, and that's always nice to roll. And people are like, oh, your sanity's so low. It's like, yeah, he's been through a lot. Okay, so for the other 3 stats. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Right, that's me done now.
Yep. So for the other 3 stats, size, intelligence, and education.
It's 2d6 plus 2. 2d6 plus 6 times 5.
It is 2d6 plus 6. No. Oh, yeah. Sorry, times 5. You're getting ahead of me, Ronnie.
Sorry.
2d6 plus
Simon,
6 multiplied by 5. So you basically get a slight more upper hand with these stats than the others.
Oh, that's okay. Ooh.
Oh. I'm feeling good about that one.
In.
I've got a really quite high one that I don't know suits my character.
Okay. What's it in?
I've not put it in anything yet. Well, actually, I've rolled really high for those last 3. I've got a 70, 70, and 85.
Okay. Maybe you've got some intelligence that just needs unlocking. You've just done the wrong job.
Possibly.
ADHD at school. Got the smarts, just didn't pay attention long enough.
Okay, so has everyone done those 3?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So now we have to determine, you don't have to be incredibly specific, but I'd like to know what each of your ages are going to be, because it may affect your stats.
51.
Okay. So Becky, you need to deduct 10 points split across these stats. Strength, con, or dex.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that, please? You broke up for me.
Yep.
So I'm deducting 10.
Deducting 10 points across strength, con, and or dex.
Hang on a moment.
Do you want me to say it in real life? You need to do. It's going to be one of those days. We might as well just play in real life. I suppose there is the petrol cost, but yeah. And once you've done that, you then need to reduce your appearance by 10. Just flat out reduce it by 10.
Done.
And finally, you need to make 3 improvement checks on your education. Now, the way an improvement check works, you roll a d100 for each improvement check. If the result is greater than your present education, you can add 1d10's worth of percentile points. It can't go above 99.
I might swap it around with size. Right, hang on. That was under.
No, it needs to be over.
I know. That 2 was under.
Yep.
And that was also under.
Okay, you definitely didn't pay attention in school. Okay. Phil, roughly how old are you going to be?
I was thinking
I didn't get a lot
mid-30s.
of bonuses out of that.
Say that again. Sorry, Phil.
I was thinking mid-30s.
Mid-30s. Okay. So all you have to do is make 1 improvement check for education.
My education. So that's under.
Okay. No more education for you. Ronnie, why do I get the feeling you're going to exceed in everything? How old are you going to be?
I'm just going to play it straight up. 50.
50. Okay. So same as Becky. So deduct 10 points across strength, con, and or dex.
Strength, con, and or dex. So I think we will knock 3 points from that. We will knock 4 points from that. And knock 3 points from that. You said there's an immediate 10-point drop in appearance.
In appearance. Yep. And then 3 improvement checks on education.
3 improvement checks. Okay. Check number 1 is under. So is number 2.
Jesus, I've never seen this
So is
before.
number 3. I have an education of 7. I have an education of 75. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, but I've had plenty of characters at like 75, 80, and they've still managed to get an improvement check or so. But anyway, okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
well, we both failed on that.
It is
So
it is
we-
Virginia's in the 80s, so education there is not brilliant. Okay, so so as I mentioned before, your sanity equals your power. So everyone write that in there.
Which box here?
The big
Current
purple
sanity.
box saying current sanity, yes. There's a little sort of sleeve going out that says start, so you can put your start sanity in there if you like.
I don't know which one it is.
So you got the purple box. Can you see the number 99 next to it?
Yeah.
There's another box right next to it that says start. So that's where you can put your max sanity.
It says 70. Oh, right. It worked it out for me.
Oh, cool. Okay. Perfect. Your magic
Okay,
points, the big green box, equates 1/5 of your power.
Right, so it's put 11 in straight away because that's a
Yeah.
fifth of my power.
Okay, lovely. For your luck, you need to roll 3d6 multiplied by 5.
Done.
Yep. Okay. Your hit points, don't know if it's worked out already, equates to your size plus your con divided by 10, rounded down.
Done it for us.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. Okay. I think your move rate is also worked out for you, but if you just sort of go down a little bit. Yep. Okay. Lovely, lovely. That's really, really helpful. Okay. Right. So now we decide the occupation and our points to skill. So you might need a calculator or some paper for this. Because as I mentioned before, you get a pool of skills to spend, and it's slightly different depending on your occupation. So what we do, we work out your occupation skills first, and then as I mentioned, you all get a pool of hobby skills where you can kind of, do extra little things on the side. And again, it's a pool depending on what your occupation is for that. So for Becker, who is a shopkeeper, oh, and I'll do credit rating as well. Your occupational skill points. Jesus Christ, I don't really know how to take this without sort of showing you. Okay, might be best if you write this down. It's your education times 2 plus bracketed either appearance times 2 or dex times 2, whichever's the best.
Okay, so there's 2 difference between them.
Fair enough. Okay, so you can allot these points to the following skills: accounting, 2 interpersonal skills, which is
What do you mean?
so I'm going to read them out. So you can choose from charm, fast talk, intimidate, or persuade. Electrical repair, listen.
Oh, hang on. So 2 into charm, fast talk, intimidate, persuade,
or intimidate. Yeah.
And then after those 2 of those 4, what's after?
Electrical repair.
Electrical. Yeah.
Mechanical repair. Psychology. And spot hidden.
Okay.
So you can put any of those in that selection in terms of your points. 2 things. I don't want anything exceeding 75 at this stage. And don't forget about your credit rating. Your credit rating is basically how much you own. Now, with a shopkeeper, that can be anything from 20 to 40. So it's like a measure of your general wealth.
Okay.
Right. So while you get on with that, Phil, yours as a freelance criminal. Your occupational skill points are education times 2.
Okay.
Plus, in brackets, either dex or appearance times 2. So basically the same.
Right.
Max is 75.
Okie-dokie.
Your credit rating can range from 5 to 65. But I doubt you're going to be a 65 at this stage.
No. I don't want to have.
And your skills. Yep. Your skills are, you can choose from these. So you can choose either art, craft, brackets acting, or disguise. One of those 2. Appraise. 1 interpersonal skill. So again, there's charm, fast talk, or intimidate for you.
Okay.
Fighting or firearms. Fighting meaning sort of like brawling type stuff.
Okay.
Locksmith or mechanical repair.
Okay.
Stealth, psychology, and spot hidden.
Psychology and spot hidden. Okay.
Remember, nothing over 75 for now, but your skills may go up. There is sort of room to advance them and steer, depending on how well you do. For PI, I'm going to start calling you PA at this rate. I keep thinking of PA. Okay.
For police officer, it is education ×2 plus either strength or dex ×2. I've taken my strength, so I've got 274 points to start with.
Okay. Are you actually being a police detective or a private investigator?
No,
okay.
I'm going with a detective as my background. Obviously, I'm now a local sheriff, but police detective is what I'm trained in.
Yep, fine. Credit rating is 20 to 50.
Right.
And have you got the...
So you buy that with the skill points.
Yes. So have you got the list of skills in front of you, or do you want me to read those out?
Yes, I am. I'm prepared today. So it's artcraft, acting, or disguise.
Yep.
Firearms, law, listen, and then one interpersonal skill, either charm, fast talk, intimidate, or persuade.
Yep.
Psychology, spot hidden, and any one other skill.
Yes.
And the credit rating between 20 and 50. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll start pumping points into those.
Mm-hmm.
I will do that right now. So I think it's going to be artcraft acting. Right.
I can see you like doing the local Christmas play or something.
Well, I was thinking more that maybe he did some undercover in his time as a detective.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Hello, children. Right. Just to remind me of a system, because it's been a while. The percentages that are mentioned on the character sheet after the various skills are the base. The skills start at that level, and then you add points on top of that.
Correct.
Yeah. So if it says 20 in brackets, then you add however many you want to 20.
Yeah.
Obviously, some are not, like Cthulhu Mythos.
Yes, and credit rating and dodge is
credit rating, again, is a bit different. But dodge is half your dex, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. Just what I'm going to do, I will remove these. I'm going to put a check on each of the ones that I actually have.
Yeah.
I'm going to take.
Don't forget as well, all of you obviously have your mother tongue, which I'm assuming is going to be English. So in language own, that's just your education score. In case I throw an English test at you or something like that. I've never used that skill, but yeah. I suppose if there's like a diverse party of characters, you might want to, oh yes, I know Egyptian or Arabic or something.
And let me know once you've done all that. American in there instead of English.
Try speaking American. That's the only language I understand.
No, I understand too. American and bad American.
The most famous skill ever invented for Call of Cthulhu. Spot.
Library use.
Yes, library use is your method of researching, analyzing.
I'm familiar with it. I just thought it was Cthulhu's most famous skill because it is quite unique to Cthulhu, whereas spot hidden has an equivalent in every role-playing system ever, and it's a terrible idea. We should get rid of the whole concept from role-playing.
What? Library use or skills in general?
perception checks.
Yes. Well, that's why I quite
you put
like.
perception checks in.
That's why I quite like the use of spot hidden, because spot hidden emphasizes that you're actually looking for something to start with, and you're spotting something that's hidden. It's not like I'm just looking around.
Is it a skill? Do you ever get better at finding your car keys? Only if you get in the habit of putting them in the fucking pot. It doesn't make it any easier to find them when you didn't put them in the pot. Like, the whole concept of the skill is ridiculous. It's not like, do I have cataracts or not? Do I have glaucoma? Yes, no, it's fairly Boolean. If I've got glaucoma, I won't find the thing in the dark corner of the room by looking alone. I'm going to have to put my hand in all the fluff that never got hoovered for the last 8 months. Sorry.
Well, at least it's better than perception, darling.
I just think you should come off the fence here, Becky, and tell us what you really think.
No, the fact is, excuse me a minute whilst I just absolutely segue. The fact that this skill exists means that there are GMs out there that put important clue points that make or break their story arc behind perception tests. What's the fucking point of that? It's like, well, there's a skill there, so I thought I'd better run with it. It's like, no, you just broke your bloody quest. And what, you're going to blame it on the characters because they failed a test? You shouldn't have frigging asked for it. And the only reason you did is because some role-playing game author thought, I know, let's put a skill in for perception. Because, some people are better at finding their shoes in the morning than other people. Bullshit. I mean, is there genuinely somebody who's better at spotting they left the bathroom light on as they leave the house than somebody else? No, either you check or you don't. If you don't check, then it's either part of your routine or not, or, did I look? Did I look? No. If I didn't look, I don't know. If I did look, I do.
It's a little bit too much.
Sorry.
So I guess I'm doing at least one spot hidden roll for Becky every session then.
Absolutely.
Got to now.
Yeah.
Well, you think I made so many
so
perception tests? That's Savage Worlds game.
Has everyone done skills? Well, those skills specifically.
No, I'm still working the points.
Okay, that's fine. They do take a while, to be fair. It is a little annoying. But while you're doing that, feel free to think about a bit of your background, maybe some significant people, contacts. Do you have an existing phobia or something like that? There's sort of little backstory paragraphs on the second page that are quite nice in that regard. But I'm not expecting you to have any. Yeah, I'm not expecting you to have any access to arcane tomes or have encounters with strange entities or anything like that.
Well, that's boring.
Well, if you give me a good enough reason, then I will.
I'm never going to come up with a good reason. There's no way I'm going to be able to come up with a decent reason for that. Okay, I've just realized I'm going to have to drop something here.
Well, because it depends. Sometimes, especially for a one-shot, I quite like to give each character like a little glimpse of the mythos in a previous situation, like I did for the Expo game. So each of them has had some kind of sighting of something or something unexplained and yada yada yada, and I think that's quite cool. But I was hoping for this, that, if you're all going to go insane at some point, we need to start fairly sane. For development.
I'm not going to go insane.
Okay. You heard it here, everybody.
I'm not going to go insane.
I'm not going to go insane. Ronnie Bradley, 7th of January, 2019.
My character might go completely loopy, but I'm not going to go insane.
Okay.
That's the get out of jail free version.
Yes.
Okay, that's better, but not perfect. Because I haven't actually taken one other skill, but I don't care at this point.
Okay.
I am absolutely boiling. Just while you're finishing off that, I'm going to get some water.
Okay, let's try that then.
One other skill. Yeah, I think I can make a convincing argument for that. I think I can make a convincing argument for that.
That's pretty damn close. But I would like some points for something else, please.
Right, that's that done.
There's that one, that one. It's the same. That changes.
Just making sure I haven't
Okay.
crossed the line there. No, that's fine. To be honest.
Yep, that's all there. Okay. Where can I save some points?
Yeah, I'm min-maxing a bit.
I just want points for something else.
Yeah, I realised I'd thrown a whole load of points in one and
Do that.
kind of went, oh shit, really need points in that.
Keep that one. Look, I'm going to have to keep that one. I could drop that one.
Right, that's me. That's me. Get my points then, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken occult as my one other skill.
Okay. Out of interest, how high is that?
Oh god, it's minuscule.
Okay.
It is 19. I'm basing it on the point that this is the 80s. We're right in the middle of the satanic panic, man. Every fucking copper worth his salt has been dragged in because of some bloody, occult bloody stupid thing that turned out not to be true. So he's probably read up a little, if nothing else, and to turn around and say, right, guys, you said this was a cult. This is fuck all. This is two guys listening to heavy metal. It's not It's not satanic panic. Go away. So that's how I'm justifying that.
You got to take all those records
enough.
outside and burn
I
them.
like that.
You know, nothing major, just a little bit. Just enough to stick 2 fingers up at the people shouting loudest.
Okay. Next one.
It's probably what got him, what decided he was just going to be a small town sheriff, actually, because there's too many. He's like, oh, fuck all this shit. I can't be bothered with this. I'm going to go live in a small town and just be a sheriff and do parking tickets, because I can't be bothered with people just phoning up the police because a cat's stuck up a tree or somebody's listening to heavy metal, so they must be doing a satanic virgin blooming sacrifice. I can't be doing with all that now.
Mm-hmm.
How are we doing, Phil?
Yep, done.
Okay, so next thing is your hobby skills or your personal interest skills, if you will. If you haven't put anything into fighting or firearms, unless you're adamantly not that kind of character, this is a good time to put those in. But everyone needs to multiply your intelligence by 2. And then you can allot these points to pretty much anywhere to kind of round out your investigator. With these, I don't want anything above 60 for now, please.
I'm sorry, say again? With these?
With these, I don't want anything above 60, please. Again, you will have the chance to put some up if you do well. Oh, by the way, are all your characters, well, dare I say the word native, which is not quite accurate, but are you all of United States citizenship / descent / Caucasian?
Yes.
Oui.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where is... Right.
Am I able to use these to pump up my dodge a bit?
No, because that's based on your dex.
Balls. Yeah, I'll probably put in some points there. Nothing above 60.
Yes, please.
Got another few to go. Put some in there. Okay, what else can I do? Okay, yeah.
Oh, is appraise valuing an item?
Yeah, basically. Let me just see what it says in here.
I would say so.
Appraising. Yeah, I used to estimate the value of a particular item, including the quality, material used, and workmanship. Where relevant, the skill user could pinpoint the age of the item, assess its historical relevance, and detect forgeries.
Yeah, I have some of that just from at least banknotes. Okay. There we go. All done.
Okay, cool. One thing I should probably mention at this stage is you can push a roll as well. Say if you kind of roll and you're not quite happy with the results, you can ask to push a roll. I'm just seeing if I can find a specific section here because it is a bit subjective to how you use it. There we go. 6. Yeah, so basically, if you fail a roll, you can choose to push the roll and attempt it again. But you have to actually justify to me what you're doing, why you're doing it. And I've seen instances before where people have asked to push a roll and they can't really give a reason as to why, so it doesn't work for them. Also, in terms of the consequences, that could mean that when you fail a push roll, it's much worse. But if you do push it and you succeed, then it's fine. Also, bear in mind with insanity, when we sort of start going down that path, the more you push a roll when you're insane, the harder it is to do. You can also, I believe you can help each other, but I will double check that. But anyway, has everyone done the personal skills?
Yes.
Okay. Right. So that's all backstory, yada yada yada. Again, do feel free to write in the backstory thing. So, in particular, significant people would be good. If you want to give me anything like, put this NPC in the game somewhere, please, then yes, I will, and things like that. But in the meantime, now we determine your finances. So you have to spend and things like that. Okay, right, modern day. Right, so anybody have a credit rating of 1 to 9?
I do.
Ah, you do. Okay. So the amount of cash you have, as in cash in hand, is your credit rating times 20.
Okay.
So there's like a box of cash and assets on the back page where you can put your cash. Your assets, so savings, if you've got a property or any sort of very good like fancy possessions, it's credit rating times 200.
Okay.
And your spending level, which I believe is just how much you can really spend a day. Yeah, it's basically per day. You can exceed it, but in practice it should be only used occasionally. But I'm not too bothered about that. Your spending level is $40. Okay. Anyone got a credit rating of 10 to 49?
Me.
You are not poor. You are average.
That's just what every woman's ever said to me.
Wow.
Every girlfriend has said I'm average. Apart from Fiona.
I'm sure Fiona doesn't think you're average, yes. Okay, so your credit rating...
Fiona, I know you don't think I'm average.
Sorry, not the credit rating. Your cash in hand is your credit rating times 40.
Wow. Hold on. That's my spending level.
No, that's your cash. Your cash in hand. So the amount of cash available to you
is credit rating times 40.
Yes.
That would be 1,400.
Okay. You might not have it all on you. You might keep some of it in a lockbox, but you can access it quickly.
Yeah.
Your assets are your credit rating times 1,000.
Okay.
And your spending level is $200.
Ooh, $100. There we go.
Becky, what's your credit rating?
40.
Okay, so you're the same then as Ronnie.
Oh, I missed those numbers. So then, sorry. I
was going to say, I didn't think you were in the wealthy category. Okay, so your cash in hand is your credit rating times 40.
Mm-hmm. Assets.
Again, your assets are credit rating times 1,000.
1,000. Okay.
Yep.
And
spending level is
200.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So then it's really a case of gear and equipment. So again, with things like this, I'm not too bothered, especially if it's kind of more relevant to the story than anything, and it's just sort of an aspect of your role playing. But for example, there are things like obviously weapons. If you have any weapons, why don't we sort those out first, actually? Because that's the important stuff. So, who here has sort of handgun or shotgun or possibly more?
I have both.
Handgun.
Okay. Phil, do you have anything?
Do you think I'd be probably in America? Probably would be allowed to have a gun. I could get one illegally, I suppose.
Oh yeah, it's Virginia. Come on.
I'll have a handgun then.
Okay. There's also hand-to-hand weapons if you want something like that. Okay then, Theo. I'm just seeing whether modern. Okay.
Where's the equipment list?
This is where you might have to help me with the names of guns because I'm not a massive expert on them. But for example, a decent revolver is you've got the .357 Magnum,
Standard
.38 automatic, Beretta M9, a Glock 17, if you're that way inclined.
I'd be tempted by the Glock, actually. I'd be tempted.
Magnum, .45.
What page is that on, please, Jason?
This is page 251.
That's the main rule book, or is that the Investigator's Guide?
This is the Investigator's Handbook.
Page
251. And then there's the IMI Desert Eagle.
No, wrong era.
Well, it says it's the problem is it's in 1920s or modern, and in this it's modern, so it doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to find it now because I have the Investigator's Guide, the PDF, but the pages, the weapons pages, are actually completely unreadable.
Oh,
due to the font.
okay. Oh, right. Okay. Well, just tell me what you want to have, and I'll give you the stats for it.
In terms of a handgun, I'm tempted to have two, actually.
But yeah, weapons are quite specific in this game, and they've all got sort of different stats as well.
Yeah, I'm tempted by the 357 Magnum because it's a standard police azure.
Okay.
and I'm tempted by the Glock, mostly because the fucking Beretta just became the gun after Lethal Weapon, and
Okay.
that's the Martin Riggs gun, the Beretta.
Okay. Well, in terms of cost, it might sway you differently, but the 357 Magnum is 425. The Glock 17 is 500.
Right. I'm going to make. This is where I'm going to make a plea. Can I get the 357 as my service as a service weapon, and my
I knew
Glock as a
you'd ask
personal?
question. Okay, yes, since
Thank
it's
you.
and right, yes.
Sorry, I'm not trying
Yes.
to edge it out. I'm just, So, 357 Magnum.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take a Beretta M9.
You're gonna take a Beretta, okay. A Beretta costs 500.
Right, so where do I take that out of? Because there's like 3 different spending things.
That would be your cash. Anyway, or actually no, take it off your assets because it's something you've invested in a while ago.
So
Right.
What did the gun cost? Sorry, 350.
No, I said Beretta 500.
500.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right. I'm just gonna start this.
Right. So, Phil, what are you thinking of?
I was going to go Glock 17.
Yeah.
You're gonna go Glock 17 as well. Oh my god, people are gonna think you're like neo Nazis or something with these.
We know our weapons.
That route.
It's
We're not
pretty-
going down that route.
It's a pretty easy to get hold of gun.
Yeah,
isn't
it's
It is. Okay.
it's
It
often
is,
used by the FBI. No, as a standard weapon.
Okay. That is. Again, I'm not an expert on guns. Okay, yeah. So Glock 17 9mm auto, 500.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll do the stats for that first because the majority of you are picking that. So skill is obviously firearms handgun.
Mm-hmm.
Damage is 1d10.
Mhm.
So the damage goes the way your weapons are.
Okay.
Under damage. Then I've lost my place. Where is it? Base range is 15 yards. No, this is the Glock 17, babe. 15 yards.
Okay.
Use per round. Normally it's 1, but put 3 in brackets.
Yep. Okay.
And I'll need to double check what that means again. It's to do with rate, but then the bullets, the amount of bullets is 17. Again, I'm not going to be massively thingy about that, but just keep a general idea. And malfunction is 98, so that means that if you ever go above 98 in your roll to fire it, it malfunctions.
Okay. Yeah, the standard weapon that FBI and Secret Service in America are using is either the Glock 17 or the 6R 226.
Okay, cool. Right, Beretta M9 is actually almost exactly the same. So damage is, skill is again handgun firearms. Damage is 1d10. Base range is 15 yards. Uses per round is again 1, but put 3 in brackets. The amount of bullets in the magazine is 15. Malfunction is 98.
Okay.
Then the 357 Magnum revolver, the service weapon. Again, handgun, which is skill. Damage is 1d8 plus 1d4.
Reason why the coppers love this weapon.
Base range is 15 yards.
The attack is just
Used
going to
per
be
round
one.
is 1 brackets 3.
Okay. Ammo obviously 6.
Hold your horses.
Okay.
You're not the DM this time.
Sorry,
Sit
I'm
back, relax.
it's exciting.
It's all right. Yes, you're right. So six bullets in the magazine.
Uh-huh.
Malfunction is 100.
Go for that. Reliable weapons, revolvers.
Yes. So I believe, again, I'll check this, but I believe the bracketed number with how much you can fire. Actually, no, that's not what it means. No. Oh, you may fire one bullet without penalty. More bullets up to the maximum, aka the 3, may be fired, but each shot is taken with a penalty die, so that will be on a disadvantage.
Okay.
Okay, anything else of that nature that you want to take? Like, I don't know, like they've got crossbows in here, which is quite funny. Anything else of that nature?
I'm tempted to take a shotgun actually.
Oh. What were you saying, Becky?
Could have a shotgun in the shop, I suppose, but I'm thinking actually the Beretta is probably the husband's former service pistol, because that's the army issue pistol in the 80s.
Yeah.
I see.
So
okay then. So shotguns.
I won't take a shotgun.
Okay, shotguns then. What kind of gauge were you thinking? There's let's see, 12 gauge pump, semi-auto. 12 gauge Benelli M3 folding stock, 12 gauge SPAS folding stock. I don't know what any of these mean.
Yeah, the folding stock just means you get the stock can be folded down in case people want to be arses and just carry it around in their hands like that, or they can pull the stock out to put it up against the shoulder for a bit more control with the shot.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. In that case, the Benelli M3 is 895, or the SPAS is 600.
I'll take the Spaz.
The Spaz. Okay, so skill is, of course, firearm shotgun. Damage is, and this depends on the range you're shooting at. So 10 yards is 4d6. 20 yards is 2d6. 50 yards is 1d6.
All right, so it's either 4, 2, or 1d6.
1, yeah.
Okay.
And then, your base range then would be 10, 20, and 50 yards. Uses per round is 1. The amount of bullets in the magazine is 8. And malfunction is 98.
Okay, got that.
Coolio. Huh, you can have straight razors as well. Or brass knuckles. Okay, cool. Yep, so those are essentials with that. Again, things like clothing I'm not solid about. That is basically it for character genning.
I'll take a
Everything
knife.
else is kind of... Oh, a knife. You want a knife? Okay.
Something I can carry on my person, so nothing massive, no Bowie knives or anything.
No, not a friggin' like bayonet or anything like that. Okay, so there's things like switchblades, a medium, so kind of carving knife size.
I think a switchblade will be quite good.
Is there a butterfly knife there?
I do not see a butterfly knife. No.
Oh,
No, okay, I'll go for a switchblade.
yeah.
Okay, switchblade. Switchblade. Okay, so that's used with fighting brawl. Again, self-explanatory.
Okay.
Damage is 1d4 plus your damage bonus, which should be pre-worked out for you.
Okay, yeah.
Base range is touch.
Yep.
Uses per round is 1. Cost is $6.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, no bullets, no malfunction.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, you can have mace spray. It's quite funny, actually. You get 25 squirts.
Yay!
of mace. Stay with bear mace. Okay, and the only other thing I can really think of that's essential then for equipment is maybe like a vehicle, especially for you, Ronnie. But again, that can all be played in. I'm not bothered about.
Yeah,
cost of that, really.
I'm probably. I mean, I probably have my own car, but for work it'll just be the, police, the old police cop car with the sirens and the nice big sign.
I was going to say,
I have three things I want to know.
Oh, okay.
One is a shop, one is a car, and the other is a cat.
There is a what?
A cat. Mr. Money'sworth. It's the shop cat.
Money'sworth. I love it. Mr. Money'sworth, the cat. I'll make a note of that. Okay, yeah, I was going to ask Ronnie actually about the vehicle because this part of Virginia, yes, there are main roads and stuff, but it's near to a massive forest. So I don't know if you wanted a sort of a conventional car or if you were thinking more of something a bit
Well, off-road, 4x4.
I would imagine the conventional car in this area is a pickup.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
It might even be
Okay.
even the boys in blue thing might be a 4x4 because you do get them in rurals.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I was thinking like the typical NYC cop cars, like that kind.
Yeah, no, I don't see them hanging out in rural areas.
No.
So yeah, it would probably be a 4x4 with the police decals and lights on. As the car of choice in case I have to go speeding after some drunk drivers.
Oh yes, I was going to ask Barb, what do we say your shop was going to be called? Is it going to be like a Whole Foods or something?
No, it is J. Monroe Supplies General Store. The husband was Jonathan Monroe, who died in 1973 in the Vietnam conflict.
Okay. And is yours kind of like, is it more groceries or retail, or is it just like a general convenience? So pretty much everything.
It's a convenience store. Well, it's like a mini supermarket, but it also has stuff relevant to the rural setting. So, like in the summer, it will carry a few hunting supplies. So it'll be somewhere where you'd go for your weekly shop, but it'll like there'll be an area of the shop that's sort of quite seasonal for stuff for, like at Halloween it'll have Halloween decorations, at Christmas it'll have Christmas decks. Come summer it'll have some shooting gear and some wellies and things like that.
Okay.
It wouldn't sell guns, but it'll have stuff of that nature.
Cool. Fair enough. Okay, right. So that's character gen all done. So unless you've got any further questions or things like you want to tell me about the character, I was thinking of taking a 5-minute break for everybody. I mean, I'm just looking at the time. Actually, it is 9:30, so we can do a little encounter if you want, or we can just leave it completely until the next session. It's up to you.
I'm more wondering about the fact that if we really get into it, we could be out there still about 11. Because Cthulhu does tend to, once you get into it, you're in it. You know, you don't want to leave it until, you know, you kind of the encounter's done, and then
I was going to start with a bang, so it wouldn't be slow moving. But having said that, I've got some ideas, so I would need to sort of stop it at a certain point. So I see what you're saying.
You know, it's not about slow moving. I'm all for you know, the slow.
Well, we could do a little character introduction prologue of like a typical day in the life type thing.
Yeah, we could do that.
Just introduce characters.
Yeah, I like that idea.
But
I got to give him a flipping name.
If you're sort of not keen on running whatever the Big Bang is.
Well, again, the Big Bang can wait until first session. We could do something quite sort of nice and tranquil. I don't know, for the character.
I'd definitely like to hear a little better. The connection is really shoddy today, so I'd like to be able to know what's going on.
Yes,
it's always handy in a game.
Instead of asking you to repeat everything.
Yeah, it would maybe break the mood a little bit. Well, what do you think, Ben? I mean,
I don't mind whatever everyone else is comfortable with. I could get a drink a minute, but that's it.
Yeah, I'm up for a bit of, you know, character interaction, just to you know, get ourselves in the zone before all hell breaks loose. As is the want of a Call of Cthulhu scenario.
Got to write down some background.
But I'm thinking Jayson wants to kind of do the campaign itself in media res. So, like, it would definitely be prologue.
Yeah. This is definitely going to be a prologue. It's not, you know, going to be like, I don't think anything's going to be in there that's going to be particularly important. I'm just going to read it in. And then, yeah, we could do session 1, like.
I take Cthulhu in the veins. Oh,
yeah, basically. No, I stretched to what you were saying, but there was a delay for some reason in my thought. I don't know why. Okay, then. All right, we'll do a little scenario thing. Okay, right. Let's have a break so I can actually think about what you're gonna do. Quickly break, fag, water, whatever.
Okay.
BRB.
Hello.
Welcome back. So yes, the next session, I gather, is going to be Cthulhu ramped up to 11. Cthulhu invades gang things, just an equal wiggle tentacle.
Excuse me.
Tentacle.
Cthulhu ramped to 11 is a scary prospect.
To start with, not this bit, but the start will be, yeah.
What's the name of this small town again?
Nellysford.
Virginia. It's saying birthplace, and I'm trying to resist the idea that I was also born in the state of Virginia in the small town of Golden.
Huh.
So I can place my residence as Golden, Virginia.
That's terrible.
Bad puns, they happen. I think the keeper of arcane lore is not impressed.
Virginia. Oh yes, Golden City.
Mm.
Oh no, that's a restaurant.
Well, basically, Nellysford is part of Nelson Country. That's the county. The large community is Nellysford.
Right. I've got my name and my character at least. That's the rather important point. Then.
Good. Population. I'm just seeing if I can find sort of accurate population. Well, the population in 2010 was 1,076. So I would imagine then you would know a good portion of the population in 1980.
Well, it really depends. You see, what, 1,076 you said?
Yeah, in 2010.
In 2010. Now, either it grew to 1,076, or after the terrible, unnameable, unspeakable horrors that are about to be unleashed upon this poor town, it suffered a major population slump.
Well, yeah.
It could have been 5,000 back in the 80s.
That is an interesting point.
Population 5,000 and falling. Falling down a large crevice.
Ronnie, what's your character called?
I'm Sheriff Dominic Hollander. Oh yeah, there's a bit down the bottom, isn't there? We can.
Yes.
Yeah, filling it in.
Put stuff in there, yeah.
Bill, what's your character called?
Kyle Kalinske.
Carl
I
Kaminsky.
recognize that name.
Yeah, he's a YouTuber.
Oh, of course, he's doing secular talk.
But he's, yeah, this guy's part Polish, so he speaks Polish as well as English.
I did not know that. I'm using a different fucking pen.
Becky, what's your character's name?
Helen Munro. It's Monroe, not Monroe.
M-U-N.
Mun.
Okay. Yes. I was going to go for Kaminsky as a surname and decided against it, but for very different reasons.
Kominsky.
Eh?
Kominsky.
Pulitsky. Sorry.
Kyle Kaminsky.
Kominsky, Kozinski. Oh, Jack Ripper suspect. You know that.
How you spelling that, Phil?
Okay, so it's Kulin-Ski.
Okay. No, the reason I was going to originally call myself Kaminsky was there is a 1980s film. It's one of the few Arnold Schwarzenegger films that didn't actually make a lot of money, called Raw Deal, where he plays a FBI officer who's now a small town sheriff, and his name is Mark Kaminsky. And I was going to
Jack Ripper suspect Kozinski.
Yeah. But I went with
Dominic. What was it?
Dominic
Hollander. Like the country, but with on the end.
There's no country called Holland.
What?
So you're
yes, I know it's technically not the Netherlands, but
so you're sheriff then, are you?
yes.
Okay. Okay. So I think there's some background.
Okay. Any other bits that you need to sort out, or are we ready
not for the moment?
I think that's probably it.
So we've got Helen, Kyle, God damn it, Cal, and Sheriff Dominic Hollander. Okay. Cool. Okay. So we begin our little prologue. Wait, hold on. Music on. There we go. We begin our little prologue in an iconic place in Ellisford in the 80s, which is the Stony Creek Bar and Grill. It's a place where the community tends to get together if it's not the community centre itself. It's kind of like two polar opposites. The community centre is seen as a time to go in crisis. The Bar and Grill is somewhere to relax. It's somewhere to play card games. It's somewhere to catch up with the gossip of what's happened during the day. And let's start with the Sheriff Dominic already in there. I would imagine you'd be at the bar ordering a whiskey of some kind.
I'm going to have a light beer. I'm just come off.
A Coors Light. This was actually when they were booming. Light beers. They'd just started disgusting things. I would imagine it's getting towards the end of the day now. It's around 7 o'clock at night. It is almost dark actually at this point. In fact, no. Let's say it's around the start of January. So why do we say it's actually dark already? And Helen and Kyle, you've come in for food, possibly for drinks. Perhaps you do this every day. Who knows? But you've come to unwind, you've come to relax. And it's already getting quite busy actually. There's a few folk who are new that you don't recognize. You think maybe they're tourists, which is a little odd because they've come at the wrong time of the year and the resort is closed, but perhaps they don't know that. But apart from that, familiar faces from the local church, you can see people who work sort of errands. You see those who work on the land, all the usual folk really. And of course you see Katie at the bar, who works nearly every day there. She is the sort of the talk of the bar. fact, she's a lady, but also she is very good at what she does.
Just having a
So
nice...
she's actually by you, Dominic, and she's cleaning glass, and she says, "So, what exciting things have you been up to recently? Any secrets you want to tell?"
Well, there is one secret. I really shouldn't be saying this, but I feel I'm in good company.
I know. Let me guess. You've caught a cocaine group.
The closest I've come to a cocaine group was a bunch of kids selling hooky Coca-Cola down the back alley.
Come off it, really? A cop like you from the city? Are you not seeing shootings, stabbings?
Me? I've seen shootings, stabbings. I've seen filleting. I've seen...
She kind of shies away at that, thinking it was too graphic.
I've seen all manner of weird, wild, and wonderful things. Why the hell do you think I came here? There's only so much of that shit a man can take, you know?
Yeah, well, there's only so much shit that, you know, the locals can take. I suppose there's pros and cons, isn't there? I think I quite fancy moving out in the next 6 months. I'm getting really, really tired of it here.
Listen, find yourself a nice small town. That's the place to go. Big cities? Fucking nightmare, man. Just, you know, forget about it. I mean, New York? Born and raised there. Would I go back there? Fuck no.
What about New Jersey or Connecticut?
Look, here's the thing. Since this whole cocaine problem really hit, heroin, hard narcotics, late 60s into the 70s, cop work is just... We're just fucking pharmacists with badges, man.
So you have caught somebody in a cocaine ring.
I caught
And
someone...
what can I... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I caught someone in a cocaine fucking square before, but never in a ring.
Oh, you are very...
I'll have another
and,
one,
what
please.
can I get... All right, another one. And what can I get for you two? And she looks to the both of you, Helen and Kyle, as you come in. Feel free to describe, by the way, what your characters look like at this stage, if you've reached that point.
Yes, so Helen was blonde in her younger years. It got a little darker in her 40s and now is getting a little bit grey. But she's tried to stay sort of fashionable, and with it, she keeps her eye on the fashion. So she has large hooped. She doesn't really like the big shoulder pad thing, though. She tried a few blouses. She just doesn't like wearing them. You know, she's a little bit kind of wiry, and you know, the wrinkles are starting to show on her now. And you know, she's quite skinny-ish, but not a waif by any stretch. And yeah, she beckons Kyle in. So it's about time I got to know you a little better, Kyle. So I want to know, where are you really from?
Well, I'm from Washington, you know, born and bred.
Yeah, but where are you really from?
Well, that's where I'm from. So just had to move out,
Yeah,
and
but
I'll move the other side of Helen as well, away from the sheriff. So I'm not next to the sheriff.
You don't mean you've come a long way?
Well, yeah. I had to have a change of scene. It doesn't do me any
So
good
whereabouts?
saying it.
Seattle, Tacoma.
No, born in Washington. But
Yeah. So
DC.
of course you meant Washington D.C.
Just up the road.
Yeah, just up the road. The Delaware, I see. And what can I get somebody from Washington D.C.?
Oh, burger and chips and a beer.
All right,
Or
burger and
usual.
chips. She sort of furiously writes it down. Sort of leans
I'll
back.
be paying for this one.
Oh, thank you very
Sure.
much.
Puts it in the kitchen. Says, "Todd, burger and chips, Prano, please."
That's very kind of you. At least I can get you a beer in return.
No, I won't have it, Kyle. You work for me, remember? It doesn't work that way.
That's very kind of you.
And your burger does come quite quickly. They basically do it extremely hot on a grill, so flip, sizzle, that sort of char grilled smell, really good. They've got sort of nice sort of Jack Daniels infused sauces as well. Again, it's a really popular place, and a lot of the stuff they make is local or homemade. Obviously, the meat will come from elsewhere, but they add their own little sort of spice, if you will, to the place. I mean, do you guys stay at the bar? Do you go find a booth somewhere?
Oh, I'm staying at the bar.
Sorry, Becky, I didn't quite catch that.
I was about to speak, and then
Sorry.
Ronnie spoke, so I backed off. No, I'm lacking a bit. So it's okay.
No, go for it, Becky. I was just saying I'm just sitting at the bar, so.
Well, I was just saying howdy, Sheriff. But Kyle here is my new employee. So let me introduce you to our sheriff.
Hi, Sheriff.
Sheriff Dom.
Dom? I'll put my hand out, shake.
You minding your P's and Q's there, man? How's
Always.
business?
Very good, very good.
It's always good. You know that. It's only one shop that anyone who's lives in Nellisford is ever going to shop at.
Alan's a good boss. Keeps him
Can't
busy.
argue with that. Reminds me, I need to get groceries tomorrow. Either me or whichever.
Time.
Well, it'll either be me or whichever deputy has pissed me off that morning. Although, quite frankly, I'm not going to try any of the lettuce.
So as Katie brings out the burger, she puts it on a table, and she's about to head back to the bar, but then she suddenly sort of stops and gets frustrated, and you see her sort of crouch down under the table as if she's lost something. Then after a few seconds, she finds what she's looking for. Oh, thank God, thank God. And she puts a ring back on her finger, and you notice it's on her left ring finger.
I say, Katie, I didn't know you'd gotten engaged. Who's the lucky fella?
And she sort of she kind of suppresses your talk and comes back as if she's concerned other people are hearing. She sort of comes around back around the bar. Did I've kept it very quiet, but you know I wanted to wear it today because it would have been our anniversary, and if things hadn't gone the way it did, he would still be here.
Okay, you know, Sometimes men are shit.
Oh, he wasn't at all. It wasn't him. I mean, I suppose it was him, but it wasn't his manner or his personality. I mean, who knows? He might recover actually, but no, he. Right, let me tell you. Let me tell you what happened. She sort of sits up on a stool, gets herself a drink actually, and she just sort of grabs a beer. And you can see actually as she sort of takes a swig with the ring on, it's a very alluring ring. It's not sort of your bog standard, say, silver with a small, neat gemstone. This gemstone is quite large. It's flat. But the thing that catches your eye the most in the sort of the dark hue of the gemstone is it almost kind of there's like a glint that's sort of swirling inside, and you think maybe you just sort of imagined it, and
Nice.
no,
That's a lovely ring. Did it fall off your finger due to just wear and tear? Does it need resized at all?
yeah. He when he proposed to me, he did promise he was going to get the ring resized. But I love the gemstone so much that I just said to him, "I'll keep it."
Here's that little hint for you. Get a chain, wear it as a necklace. That way it'll never fall off again.
Oh, that's a good idea, Sheriff. Yes, I'll do that. Thank you. Yeah, I'll wear it like that. It's close to the heart, anyway, isn't it?
Damn right.
I honestly don't know what happened, and no one can really say what happened. None of the doctors can really give me much. But he proposed to me a few years ago, and you know I wanted to tell everybody, but he wanted to keep it a little secret for a while. I think he was maybe a bit shy with him being not very local to the area. He was a bit worried, you know, about people thinking ill of him. He loved exploring. He did a lot of hiking, mountaineering. He was much more at home in Washington State, actually. That's where he was from. But he proposed with the ring. I obviously said yes. But very shortly afterwards, he became very, very ill. And eventually he had to be admitted to hospital for mental problems. The doctor said it was schizophrenia, hallucinations, but it just became so bad that I couldn't deal with it anymore. We couldn't be together, and as far as I know, he's still alive, but I haven't really spoken to him. I tried writing letters to start with, but he never answered them, except once. There was that one time, but it was very strange.
Tell me.
I'm just trying to remember what it was he said, or if it had even been written by him in the first place. It just seems so odd. Oh yes, that's right. It was typed on a typewriter. Maybe they gave it to him to write. Maybe he couldn't write. He was getting shakes sometimes. And it just said Antarctica on it, which I knew was a place he wanted to visit, but no more, no less.
Had you
I always
discussed it?
wondered. I always wondered, is that the one in Canada or the other one near Australia? Or is it Austria? I forget, the one down the bottom.
It's the one at the bottom, yeah. I don't know anyone would want to go there. It's all ice and snow. But he wanted to step his foot on every single continent there is.
Cole shoving his face full of French fries and
He
perhaps
just
like
sent you
penguins.
So he just sent you a letter with one word?
Yes. He'd been inside for a while, maybe 6 months, 8 months, but that was it. Just Antarctica.
How
I always say, the mind is like the body. Once it's broken, the only thing fixes it is time.
Well, the doctors did reassure me that they're inventing all these new medicines and they're trying certain things with him. And to start with, it all sounded really optimistic, but
when was the
I
last
haven't
time
really
you
heard.
visited your fiance?
Well, maybe a couple of months before he wrote the letter. Things didn't go so well. He had one of his episodes, they call them. He had to be injected, and
Was he violent?
upset. No, I think maybe they thought he was being violent. I wouldn't say it was violent per se. He didn't hit me or anything, but he'd been kind of getting more and more agitated, although I couldn't quite place my finger on what. And he started grabbing hold of me and shaking me as if I couldn't understand him or I couldn't see something. And I think they thought at that point that he was being too much. And and that was when the breathing started, the gasping, like he was choking, but he hadn't eaten anything or drunk anything. It was horrible.
Katie, don't trouble your mind with problems of the past. It's no matter now. He's where he needs to be, and he's gonna get better.
How long has that
But you
been
gotta
now?
live your life.
I said it's been a few years now. I wasn't ready to reveal him to anybody, but I thought I'd be ready to wear the ring just for today, as a memory almost. Although he's not dead, it's very strange.
Well, it's a very nice reminder, and you could always contact him if you wanted to.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
It's been very difficult. Let me put it that way. And I wanted to keep myself busy with doing the bar and things. But yeah, maybe I will contact him. Yeah, in fact, you're right. I will write him a letter after my shift tonight.
I like it.
Oh, now, boys, don't you be involved with no madman. There's no telling what a madman will do to a woman.
Sounds to me, to quote that well-established authority in such matters, Miss Oprah, sounds like she needs some closure.
He seems to be far enough away not to bother her.
And what I need is another course.
So let's get back to the point at hand now. I want to know, Kyle, is Kalinski an Italian name?
No, it's Polish.
So that's where you're from.
No, that's where family you're from.
Polish?
Same difference, surely. Can see it in the facial features.
Oh, sorry. Well, I am American, obviously. I've been for a couple of generations now.
My last name is Stockman. Somebody told me that could be Dutch or German or somewhere.
Oh, we're all American here, provided we're not communists, of course.
Well, mine is
We're
surname's Hollander, and most people say it's fucking boring. So I don't give a shit where it comes from.
That does sound familiar, though, Hollander.
Well, it gets around.
Isn't there a country called Hollander?
Something like that. Something like that.
Sounds a bit like hollandaise, like
It's
sauce.
you know, it's next to Never
That's
Neverland.
probably it.
Let me see if I've got a necklace somewhere in the drawer. You can see that it's kind of been on her mind a bit, so she's sort of having a look round the bar. She's got a few things left.
I appear to be lacking in lubrication. May I have another course, please?
All right, hold your horses.
Thank you.
God, Sheriff, you're not in the state anymore. We're not in the city, but you can't help but still order people around. Here's your
Not
damn
ordering.
drink.
Well, I am ordering, but I'm ordering in the way that people order at a bar.
So she quickly sort of pours you another drink, and then she does find a chain, sort of like a necklace that she obviously hasn't worn for some time. But she puts the ring on, and then she kind of almost sort of does it in front of you, and she's like, "That is so much better."
See, now you won't lose it.
You notice the swirling again, and in fact, it's much more visible now that it's sort of in front of her, resting on her chest. In fact, you think it might actually be a little more intense than it was before.
Yeah.
Now that is a fascinating rock. Is it diamond?
No. You notice that the hue is kind of like a very dark green in color, darker than emerald. Anyone who wants to make an appraise roll can, but apart from that, you're not really sure what it could be. It's a very interesting gemstone.
I'm trying not to look too much at it in case she thinks I'm actually staring at her breasts.
Yes, I wonder if that'll be brought up at some point.
Well, you see, I hate to disappoint.
I got a hard success.
Oh, okay. I won't bother spending.
What have you got, sorry?
Hard success.
Right, now, just a mechanical thing. At this point, make sure that if you've ticked your skills to help with sort of sorting out points, make sure they're all unticked.
Yeah.
And then if you get a success, then tick it and tick the skill. So for that appraise, then keep it ticked. The reason being that after a certain while, when you level up, as it were, it's not leveling up, but you can then do an improvement on the skills that are ticked. Okay, so a hard success. So it is an unusual gemstone, possibly malachite. It's definitely that kind of hue. It's quite dark. What you can see definitely though is that it's almost like it's been cut off a larger stone, that perhaps there was another ring or jewel of some kind with a much larger gemstone, and this has been sort of a flat part has been cut off and fashioned into the ring pretty neatly. It's a good job, but you can definitely see that there's a sort of slight imperfection in the shape of it. The swirling, you don't know what that is. You've never seen anything like that in a gemstone. It's unusual. Almost like there's something in it, or
it's almost like a little fossil spinning around in there, isn't it?
Yeah, I did ask him. I did ask Ben what it was. He didn't know. He just said he liked the look of it, and it cost him more money for it, but it is very pretty. I've never seen it that intense, though. It tends to sort of come and go a bit.
That would sound a bit unusual in itself.
Shakes it a bit.
Did he say where he got it?
Probably just the light.
No, he kept it a surprise. He didn't want me to know really how much he spent on it, I suppose. And as she says this, the lights briefly go off and come back on again. And you can actually see that they are sort of swaying just a little bit.
What's the weather like outside? What sort of evening is it? Is it quite?
When you walked up to the bar, or the grill, as it were, it was slightly breezy, a bit cloudy, but nothing at all out of the ordinary. Are you sort of going up to the window again to check?
Yeah, I am.
Didn't think it was that
Have a
stormy.
looky.
So outside it is pitch black. You can't see stars at all. It's completely overcast, much more than it was before. In fact, it's eerily dark, like almost like there's a fog or something, sort of low cloud shrouding the place. But the worst sort of feeling you can get from the weather is you can hear sort of like a rumbling sound, like something coming, something approaching. And suddenly next to you, the front door of the bar bursts open, and you see one of the locals, one sort of regulars of the shop as well, who shouts, "I think there's a hurricane on the way!"
Oh, balls. All right, guys, you know the procedure. Let's go. Lock it down.
I haven't finished my burger yet.
You notice people start
Shut
panicking.
us down on the shop.
Take the fucking...
Again, sorry.
So I bolt out and head for the shop to get the shutters down.
I'll follow the help.
Okay.
Yeah. Take the fucking burger with you if you're that determined. Just take the goddamn Big Mac with you. Go.
And Dominic, are you going with you to the shop, or are you kind of keeping people under control here? Or
I'm radioing, because it will be the radio, to the sheriff's office just to say that there's a report of a hurricane coming in. Can we just lock the place down, make sure the prisoners, if we've got anyone in the cells, that they're secure, and just secure all the weaponry and everything, and then help with the people in the streets and so on, because as usual, there's nothing like a bit of storm to make everyone go nuts.
Indeed. So you sort of give this over the radio. You do hear sort of fragments of speech, but it's difficult. It's difficult to hear. It might be a funny signal, but it's not something you've encountered before in the bar.
God damn it. All right. What was the name of the barmaid again?
Katie.
Katie, you got everything here. That's wonderful. Yes, you just get everyone sorted here. I need to go and check on my deputies and just to find out which one's getting my shopping tomorrow. I head out and head towards the sheriff's office.
Okay. So as you go outside, obviously not completely together, the others are sort of heading towards the shop. You see now in the sky a much more profound view of the weather. If this is a hurricane, put it this way, it's coming to you very quickly. It's almost like a billowing tidal wave. You can see sort of bits of sort of lightning of various colors, swirls of purple and red. And you know that if you don't get to where you need to quickly, the worst could happen.
Fuck a doodle do.
Place to end the prologue.
Woohoo!
So, in terms of in media res, I think you've decided to start this campaign at the end, right?
You will see.
Looks like the dark beast has already risen. The deep
Well,
one.
you know, I've been thinking about in media res, and I might use it. But if I do, I'll tell you. But yes, I thought that set the scene quite nicely.
Yes,
good.
it did. Yes, I like
Very
that.
good.
Got us into our characters and set the scene.
Mhm.
Enjoyed that. Unfortunately,
Thank you, babe.
Sorry.
I know that it is Cthulhu and it's meant to be dark and visceral and nasty, and it will undoubtedly be. But with us three here, you're bound to get some humor, because it's pretty much unavoidable.
The amount at the moment is fine, perfectly fine.
I've got a feeling that a lot more gallows humor is going to turn up as we all go, coping mechanism, coping, must make joke to cope with shit happening.
I was going to say, if you've been in a Cthulhu game of mine before, you'll know that I can think of some quite fucked up things.
It's
Apparently. Well, no one's actually said that, but I've thought of things and gone, did I really make that up?
it can.
Well, same with Esther. I made some pretty messed up stuff for that.
It can happen though. I mean, you know, it's a horror game. You're meant to be, I guess, in a sense, assaulting the senses. Just sort of,
And that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. It was a
But
pretty
in
good
the
start.
meantime, I think I will end the broadcast. So thanks to the one of you for briefly watching. And if you're going to watch us later or whatever, then thank you very much.
hello,
And
everyone, and bye, everyone.
we will say bye.
Viewers.
See you
Bye.
next month.
Bye.
Bye-bye.